Hello, fifth graders. Today I'm just going to be doing a couple examples about finding angles on a line. And the first thing we need to remember when we're finding angles on a line is that our sum of our line, sum of my line here, which is line QR, is always going to equal 180 degrees. 180 degrees. So when I'm finding the angles that come off of a line, I need to always remember that those angles are going, when they are added up, the sum of those angles is going to equal 180 degrees. So let's start off with my lines here and all my angles. So I have line QR. Off of line QR, I have line ST. So I'm trying to find the measure of these angles that come off of this line. One tool I can use is a protractor, and this protractor that I have in my hands right now is actually the same protractor that Mrs. Yate put onto our Google Classroom yesterday to try to print off and use. So I printed mine off this morning because I do not have a protractor at home, and I am going to use it to find the measure of my line S to start. So I put it right on my line QR, and I can see now that it's 90 degrees. You probably could tell before I used the protractor that it was 90 degrees, but I just wanted to make sure. So with that being said, my line here is 90 degrees, so that means that I have a right angle. And if I have a right angle, I know that my angle measure is going to be 90 degrees. And if this angle over here is 90 degrees, then my angle over here has to add up with this to equal 180 degrees. So 90 plus what is 180? 90 plus 90 is 180. Relatively easy one to start for your example because I started with a right angle. So that is a very simple explanation here. Our 90 plus 90 is 180. So now we go down here to our measures of our angles. So the measure of angle STQ is 90 degrees. The measure of our angle STR is 90 degrees. 90 plus 90 is 180. So that's our first example. Let's move down here to a different style of example. So let me adjust my camera a little bit. So I still have line QR, and the sum of my line QR is still going to be 180. So I have line QR, and that is going to equal 180 degrees. So when I'm putting this together, I first want to find the angle measure of my line from Q to S. So finding that angle measure, I need to put the midpoint of my protractor on the vertex of my line. Put it there, I can get my measurement. So if you notice, from Q, messed up my little paper protractor, from Q going over to the end of this line, measuring from the outside, so we go from 0 up, it's 50 degrees. So I know that my measure for this angle right here is going to be 50 degrees. Now I need to find the measure for this angle, for angle STR. So the measure of angle STR, to find that, I can do it a couple different ways. One way is I can put my protractor back on, and I can see that from R going all the way over here to my line, it's 130 degrees. So I know that this is going to be 130 degrees just from using my protractor only. If I'm doing it mathematically, I know that I have 50 degrees for the measure of my angle. Oops, I messed that up. Let me retry that. I know that the measure of my angle STQ right here is 50 degrees. It's 50 degrees. I know that the sum of whatever this angle is plus this angle is going to equal 180 degrees. So I can do mental math in my head where I know that 50 plus 130 is 180, or I can also subtract 180 minus 50, and I can get 130. So I know that the angle of this measure is 130 degrees. So there's just a couple short examples of how to use your protractor and how to use basic math to find the different angle measures, but making sure that those angle measures always add up to 180 degrees. Everybody, I will try some more examples in a little bit. Have a great day if I don't catch you again or if I don't see you. Bye.